Sahana bhavatu, Sahana bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Bharavamahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We move on to the fourth verse. Kvacha ātmā, kvacha vā'nātmā, kvāśubhaṃ, kvāśubhaṃ tathā, vā'cintā, kvacha vā'cintā, svamahimni sthitasya me. Where is the self? Where is the non-self? Where is good and where is evil, or where is auspiciousness, where is inauspiciousness? Where is anxiety or where is non-anxiety for me, or where is meditation or where is no meditation for me? For me, the one who is abiding in my own grandeur of self. Kvacha ātmā, kvacha vā'nātmā. We took up an expression in Nirvana Shatakam. If your memory is able to go back to that, Dau hi padartho atman anatma. I, not I. Aham, na aham. So we will go in this sequence. First we will deal all about Atman, and then a glimpse of Anatman, and validate both this gospel on Atman and Anatman in the state of Janaka, or in the state of a Jivan Mukta, or a Videha Mukta, or an Avadhuta. Atman. The Vedic Sanskrit term Atman literally meaning spirit. When it comes to English, the Englishman translated it as self, or soul, or pure aham, ego. In the creation diagram, there is that aham, pure aham. And the reverse of it, anatman, is containing a negative prefix and plus Atman, without Atman, and is translated into no self, no soul, or no ego. Here, ego means pure aham, not pure aham. The idea of Atman was fully developed by the Upanishad and Vedantic seers, who suggested that there does exist in one's inner core a permanent, unchanging, immutable, omnipotent, and intelligent Atman. There are so many other expressions which can come to you. There exists something whose nature is all these things, which is free from sorrow and which leaves their body at death. The Chandogya Upanishad, for instance, states that Atman is without decay, death, and grief. Bhagavad Gita calls Atman as eternal, unborn, undying, immutable, primordial, all-pervading. He had hinted in a message to few sadhakas a couple of days before. For even the thought at the Mananam stage or Nididhyasana stage to transcend Atman and Anatman, one has to reach the state of Atman, pure awareness. If you have not even experienced what you have to transcend, how will you transcend? For the realization that I am the self, therefore, the first is, okay, the jiva may start with pure anatman for several births, but then when it comes to the real sadhana in one birth where one has this lakshyam of goal of self-realization, then the anatman part is left behind and one strives to reach that state of subjective experience of Atman, pure awareness. One of the four Mahavakyas from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Aham Brahmasmi. In the sentence, Aham Brahmasmi or I am Brahman, I is that which is the one witnessing consciousness, standing apart even from the intellect, different from the ego principle, and shining through every act of thinking, feeling, etc. This witness consciousness, being the same in all, is universal and cannot be distinguished from Brahman, which is the absolute. Aham Brahma Asmi. The Mahavakya is further elaborated in the chapter Mahavakya Viveka in Panchadashi, which comes before your Chitradipa. There are two verses. One verse deals with Aham, another verse deals with Brahmasmi. We will deal with the two verses and then conclude on Atman. Verse 3. This is Aham Pada, the witnessing I. Paripurna Paramatma Asmin Dehe Vidya Adhikarini Buddhe Sakshi Taya Stitva Spuran aham iti iryate. The infinite supreme self in the body that is fit for knowledge, remaining as witness of the intellect, manifests and is known as aham. Spuran aham iti iryate. Coming to a brief commentary. Some say that I is the life in the body, which causes the body to be sentient, prana, life force. Life in the body, to be noted that life in the body merely differentiates us from the condition of death. That's it. It has no more significance. It is no proof of our identity. That which is responsible to put the life principle into the inert body is also responsible to take it away. That controlling intelligence is what we truly are. You remember in the Satchit Pore, all the 5 koshas, life force, pranamaya kosha being one of them, we ruled out all of them against the 3 tests. He's not going into detail. And about motion, not everything moves is sentient. Motion is not a proof of the presence of consciousness. The real proof of the presence of consciousness is the undeniable conviction we all have that we exist. We exist. The easiness. In the Satyam Anantam Brahman Pore, in many pores, we went through this when we said the table is the laptop, is the computer, is so and so, is. While all of them may be changing, undergoing so many changing, the easiness remains that we exist. This is the proof. Undeniable proof. Not all human bodies, the verse touched about body, not all human bodies become fit for spiritual knowledge. Rendering oneself fit is done by the practice of intense sadhana. The bulk of impurities need to be washed away. The intellect then becomes very subtle and sharp. When it is rendered pure, sadhana can be practiced. What sadhana? The purified, prepared sadhaka can separate himself sufficiently from his mind and observe that he, in true sense, reality is just the witness. During this practice, the most essential part of our being, the real I, aham, is traced back to its source, Brahman. We are coming to Brahmasmi now. It is made very clear in this line that aham refers to the pure self and not the lower ego self. Then verse 4 deals with the Brahma Asmi Padam, the infinite Brahman. Swatah Purna Paramatma Atra Brahma Shabdena Varnita Asmi Iti Aikya Paramarsha Tena Brahma Bhavami Aham. Infinite by nature, the Supreme Self is described here by the word Brahman. Asmi denotes the identity. Asmi connects Aham with Brahman, by which I identify myself. Asmi denotes the identity by which I identify myself with Brahman. The first part, Aham part, draws our existence to the existence of an all-pervading consciousness. This is Lakshana Vakya of Brahman. And the second part, I am that, is Anubhava Vakya, or the sentence of experience. The second part takes our understanding to the highest Brahman. The meaning of the word Brahman is clarified here. The identity between Brahman and Aham is finally established through a linking expression Asmi. As Brahman has many meanings and connotations according to the context in which it is used, it is specifically stated here that it means the infinite supreme self. If it is infinite, Anantam, then it has to be one alone. In Anantam, there cannot be two. That means that so since there is no possibility of two in the Anantam Brahman, my Aham, my individual consciousness cannot be separate from that because it is Anantam. There cannot be a second consciousness existing within me separate from that. Not possible. Then it defeats the Lakshana of Anantam. Therefore, my individual consciousness must be included in it and must not be different from it. Thus, the individual consciousness Aham is the same as the universal consciousness Brahman. In both Aham and Brahman, consciousness being the same, the relevance of the individual and the universal is not there. When one realizes that he is Brahman, and then ultimately at the end when he rises beyond this awareness that Aham Brahmasmi, he exists in great silence, Maha Mauna. Now come to Janaka's state. Before that, we have to touch upon vā'nātmā as well, right? Shankara, in various commentaries on Upanishads and other Vedanta treatises, does not use the term vā'nātmā to mean non-soul or anti-soul. He just says the Atman is formless and partless, whose true nature cannot be perceived, while Anatman has form, has parts, and whose nature can be perceived. That's it. This is the difference. And he goes on to say Anatman, the apparent Anatman, due to our misapprehension, the apparent Anatman, essentially a creation of Brahman, cannot be different from Brahman and has no existence apart from Brahman. What does it mean? At the end of the journey, there is no Anatman at all. And for a while, only Atman, and then na Atma, na Anatma. So there is nothing Anatman as such. When one perceives the objects and human beings in a form, with nature, with name, etc., one apparently thinks that what he sees is not Atman. But through sadhana, one can transcend this apparent form, apparent limitations on object, and conclusively say, out of subjective experience, that there is nothing called non-self at all. Shankara means that only. To realize the self-existent eternal Atman, The seeker often goes through the path of nating, not this, on anātmā, to reach that which remains as Atman. First, a sadhaka has to go through all the netis because, unfortunately, sadly, for birth after birth, he himself has been existing as anātman. So, to cross that, thorn can be removed only by thorn, it says in Tamil. So, he himself has to rule out all anātman since he himself has been an anātman and he has to transcend, go beyond that anātman sthiti. He has to go through all the netis to reach the iti aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa. A fresh glimpse which came up yesterday morning while at beach, we didn't share. The ladder steps in sadhana is like this. As he said, the first stage is Jagat Mithya, Anātman. The stage in which you have been coming and going from this creation so many number of times. Guru walks into your life. Yes, he confirms. My child, yes, Jagat is of course Mithya, but he says, don't stop there and don't be negative in your approach. Don't say everything is unreal. Let me add one more truth for you today. This is after few months or few years of his selfless service in the kutter, and after his ego has come to the zero level or almost zero level, then the Guru says, yes, Jagat is Mithya, but also Brahma Satyam, Atman is. Then the sadhaka lives in the combination of these two expressions throughout his sadhana period. And for a while, even when he starts getting the glimpse of awareness, Brahma Satyam, he confirms to himself, yes, I can say this based on the glimpses I have been getting. And when compared to the glimpse which I have been getting, Brahma Satyam Atman, it is proved in the Panchadashi Mahavakya Viveka that Brahman and Atman are not different. Very scientifically, logically, it has been proved. Because there cannot be another Brahman or another Atman from Brahman. Brahman being Anantam. So when he compares himself, he has not reached to abidance in self. He has been getting glimpses off and on in Nididhyasana. So, as compared to the glimpse, my state when I had that glimpse, he says, Jagat is Mithya, the entire creation is false, Anātma. The Guru lets him go through in this for some time and then calls him one fine day morning and then says, Jivo Brahmaivana Para. When this Jiva Brahma Aikyam takes place permanently within you, the Aham goes, the Brahman goes, and therefore there is no relevance of Asmi as well. Brahman is transcended, Jagat is transcended. Therefore, neither Atman nor Anātman. Let us summarize the flow. All is anatman, including myself, in my ignorant stage. Then I am the atman in the nididhyasana stage. And after coming out of the nididhyasana, everything else is anatman. This is also ignorance only. Then, when I cross the awareness that I am atman, there is neither atman nor anatman for me. Right? This came up only yesterday only. He rushed back and demoted. Atman, as Bhagavad Gita describes, is eternal, unborn, undying, immutable, primordial, all-pervading. He repeats that, what he told you before. Which means, literally going by this expression, which means anatman has to be ephemeral, born and therefore bound to die, our BMI, mutable in the realm of time-space and has therefore is bound by time-space and cannot be all-pervading. He often says, when you are enjoying the coolness under a banyan tree shade, somewhere in the backdrop of your mind, the hot weather has to be there. Otherwise, you would have transcended even the coolness. Right? If the realized sage Janaka has to have the awareness that I am the self, Atman, then he must also necessarily have the trace of his past prior to his realization when he existed as Anatman. As long as one is aware at intellectual level, that at Mananam intellectual level, that definitely I believe in whatever Acharya has taught me, I am the self, aham, 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 I am the self, then his intellect is bound to point out when he gets up that there are few existing in the creation who are also non-self. Here, Janaka has transcended the thought of awareness of his existence as pure awareness. He has transcended, of course, his intellect, which might convey that he is the self. Once the thought of self is not there, then the thought of non-self cannot also be there. Like the banyan shade reference, if I am aware that I am self, then somewhere the self must be a negation of non-self. I must also be aware of all non-self nature also. Only when I am aware what is to be born and to die, then I can say I am aware that I am beyond birth and death. It is like very simple terms. I think I am a Sai devotee. Then I would be pointing out at others and say they are not Sai devotees. Once I have rent asunder the duality between Sai and me, Brahman and Aham, then I transcend the thought that I am a Sai devotee. Then I cannot also have a thought about others as non-Sai devotees. The Sai and me all have gone and merged into that Jivanadi, in that state which is beyond everything. Right? Self is awareness of awareness. Non-self is awareness of non-awareness or non-awareness of self. Janaka is beyond the awareness, so he is neither aware of awareness nor aware of non-awareness or non-self. You can take it convincingly at Mananam level and continue to contemplate on this. To live truly in this state of neither Atman nor Anatman is, of course, possible in Sahaja Sthiti only upon realization. But then, a word of caution here. No part of the teaching, howsoever difficult it may appear, howsoever far you may seem to be from that teaching, from that reality, nothing has to be left out. And even the thought, at least the I am self or I am non-self, crossing this is possible only after realization. But even as sadhakas take this important lesson today, you have to leave this expression that this is not possible for me, or this is too difficult for me, or I am so far away from this state, or I don't know when I will reach. These expressions have to be removed from the sadhaka's life once for all. Because at the subconscious mind, these thoughts go and sit there and continuously create a gap between you and that reality. Affirm to yourself, it is possible, it is possible. One who is teaching me, he has been like me, he has reached here, it is possible. Fill yourself with positive vibrations, with positive thoughts that yes, this is possible and this is possible in this life, this birth. And mere positive affirmation is not enough, that has to be coupled with sincere, incessant, steadfast vidyasana. Then the day will surely come. Fear, śubhaṃ. Right? Why not? Why not? Our Bharat has given, may not be too many, but few who have risen from a normal state to that state. Standing testimony. Why not I? Why it is not possible for me? But then, as he gave in the message yesterday, it is a serious lifetime, intense sadhana and intense truth in which you have to live, of course, in your meditation state and also in your post-meditation state throughout the day. That aham should be vibrating within throughout. And that's like a 1,000-watt floodlight. That aham within should lit up your day, should lit up your arthakama, should lit up everything. Instead of your arthakama extinguishing this light. This is a very, very important lesson. He might have told 100 times before. He is repeating again. Śubhaṃ, Ashubhaṃ. Do they not look now, appear to be at kg level now, when compared to what we have learned at self and non-self? Maybe in a poetical ecstasy, Janaka would have sang this. Okay, but śubhaṃ, Ashubhaṃ is not relevant at all. Because he has risen from Ashubhaṃ to all auspiciousness, mangalam, śubhaṃ, and then he has risen beyond the duality between śubhaṃ and aśubhaṃ. When he has risen above Atman and Anatman. Chinta, achinta. Chinmaya has changed the expression. Others have given as anxiety or non-anxiety, or in very simple term, thought or no thought. Chinta, achinta. Okay. Chinmaya writes, in one's delusory state, when the ego is trying to transcend the mind, there is a state of meditation. When the ego is turned outward, filling the mind, preoccupied with its ego, the jiva is equal to ego, is preoccupied with its joys and sense gratification, there is a state of non-meditation. Both has a reference to introvertness and extrovertness of the mind. On transcending the mind and reaching the self, and then transcending even the thought of having reached the self, because this chinta is coming after transcending the atma, anatma. So here there is neither a state of meditation nor a state of non-meditation. You may say, a yogi is ever in a state of meditation. The yogi may smile and do not convey to you, but he is in a state which is beyond the meditation and non-meditation, because if he is in a meditation, then practically and realistically he must break that state of meditation for various duties which he has to do during the day. Whereas he has transcended chinta and achinta, meditation and non-meditation. It is the sahaja sthiti where the eyes may close for hours, it is the same. The eyes may remain wide open for few hours, it is the same. He is silence, the state is the same. He is pouring, talking to others, the state is the same. So, neither chinta nor achinta. This is the perfect expression of this, and neither meditation nor meditation, non-meditation, because anxiety, non-anxiety and all, they look so superfluous, so irrelevant after reaching the state of sahaja state beyond Atman and Anatman. Right? The verse contemplated during his stay in India. 2 days. The first day contemplation and then the second day contemplation. Sadhakas have not asked him still, because it might not have appeared to him, or maybe they were not sure that is it right to ask this question, or maybe it would not have appeared to them at all, because they have been gliding in their steadfast faith in Guru along the teachings of Guru. So they might not have looked back and asked this question to themselves. But for your sake, this question came up to him. What is the difference between dream state and sleep state, waking state? In dream state, body or intellect awareness is not there. Mind is there. In waking state, all the three are there. Okay. It is the intellect which conveys on waking up that the subject dreamer and the objects all being in dreams, all objects in dreams are unreal. So, what is the secret here? What is the main force here? The intellect is conveying to him on waking up that the himself appearing in the dream or the other objects appearing in the dream are unreal. It is the intellect which is making him realize, or it is the intellect which is making him realize that he had a very pure intellect, that he had a very good sleep, deep sleep in the previous state. Then, when in the waking state, the intellect is fully lit up, fully there, then why this realization that me, this subject, Jiva, and all other subjects in the world, they are all unreal, does not arise? That intellect is there in the waking state. And that intellect is pure, because that intellect is not pure, it would not convey to you about the falsity of things appearing in your dream state. So, at least in the morning, let us say, Brahma Muhurtam, that intellect is conveying to you that dream objects, dream persons, dream experience, everything is unreal. Only I am real. Okay. When you are carrying that intellect along with you, then why this realization is not coming in the waking state? A very, very, very important question in sadhana. Then the source within concluded, Bhaiya, there is a difference between dream state and waking state. Your body was not there in the dream state. Your body fully lit up in the waking state. So in the waking state, I wake up along with full body awareness. Even the intellect fails. Because I am believing that this body is true. Therefore, all the experiences of this body seems to be true. He concluded on that day, smiled at Radha Krishna in the temple, and he concluded, body attachment is the cause for all miseries. The body attachment, body consciousness has blinded the intellect. Otherwise, the same intellect which conveyed to you about the non-reality of dream objects, dream experience, you have the privilege of carrying that intellect in the waking state throughout, but it fails because their body was not there, here body is. All misery, all obstacles in sadhana is due to attachment. If this is the neti, then the next day contemplation. In the dream state, I am the subject, dreamer, and all the experiences are given by various objects in dream. I may also be one of them. When I wake up, I know that the subject and object in the dream were all unreal, and only me, the waker, is the truth. Now, rise a little. Now, rise far above this, not little. Far above this. In the waking state, now a paradigm shift has happened, a total change, transformation has happened. When I awaken not to my body, when I awaken to self, then there is neither me, the jiva, as subject, nor the various others as other human, other objects existing there. So, all the states have become one, or all the three states have no relevance. Now, when I awake, all is the difference when you get up, whether you are awakening to your body or you are awakening to yourself. This is what a journey of a sadhaka is all about. Not only that, I also cannot think that I am the self. Till the time this thought is there, I am not abiding in self. I am just entering and coming out of that state of self. So when I transcend all the subject-object duality, then ultimately, eventually, even the thought that I am the self, which implies that all other objects are non-self, must also leave me. In this state, I am neither self nor non-self, but beyond both, which is the crux of the verse. I am neither meditator nor is there an object of meditation, because after all, me the meditator then become the subject and the goal of meditation becomes the object. Subject-object duality comes, which is not possible once I have transcended both self and non-self. So what we can say, in one way we can justify Janaka, if we may dare to, the truth of Janaka's state is the first statement. Neither Atman nor Anatman. Okay, this is the state. And we can say, when Janaka would have got up and when he would have ruled the Mithila and he would have gone into the streets as the king observing things and in the waking, the manifestation of the first grand truth that he has risen above Atman and Anatman, that is manifested in the further three, that neither śubhaṃ nor aśubhaṃ, na chinta na achinta. Okay, and it is reconfirmed towards the end in the last expression beautifully. Why? Because svamahimni sthitasya. Because I abide in the grandeur of myself. Sadhakas can connect this to their own experience if they have had that subjective experience as a glimpse. Those who have not had that glimpse can easily relate the above state to the state of Acharya, which has been shared in so many ways. In such a subjective experience, initially one is bound to experience it as Atmic awareness. And all the descriptions of Lakshanas of Atman, Brahman come true in that state. And at that state, for theoretical purpose, let us revisit what we understood as Anatman earlier. Atman is formless, partless, etc. Anatman has a form, has parts whose nature can be perceived. This way, the creation with all its living and non-living objects must have form, parts, and their nature can be perceived. This is a common understanding at surface level. But in the moments of your glimpse, and as much as you can know clearly about the Jivan Mukta's existence, think, can there be any thought in that state of the creation, people around, objects around as non-self? As that which is opposite to Atman? Is it possible? So, in that state of transcendence, can a Jivan Mukta, or even you, suppose sitting in the Buddha and transcending your dear mind, perceive of something in the creation which is changing, mutable, limited, which is subject to sorrow, etc., which you can classify as ānātmā? Impossible. Impossible. Thus, in true sense, as experience, as that state where one crosses all dualities, including self and non-self, freedom and bondage, that road once upon a time, I am Guru, I am disciple, I am parent, I am child, I am God, I am devotee, I am the creator, I am the creation, I am the microcosm and I am the macrocosm. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. I have all these wonderful relationless relationships in and with existence. However, in the depth of silence, beyond all concepts, I do not witness creation. I am neither Brahman, nor Atman, nor creation, nor created, neither Jiva, nor Ishvara, neither a witness of cosmic vibration, neither Saguna, nor Nirguna. Beyond all concepts, all yogas, all Vedantas, all definitions, all attributes, I remain as I. To conclude, on the day when the sage, our Maharaj, would have gone beyond Atman and Anatman, beyond good and evil, śubhaṃ, auspiciousness and inauspiciousness, beyond the meditation and non-meditation, beyond all that is wrote in the above lines of the Song of Self, Maharaj would have sang a song which he titles as My Auspicious Day. Having risen above auspiciousness, he writes, My auspicious day. I celebrated this auspicious day with great ecstasy and pomp, with illumination and joyful songs. My wish has been fulfilled. I have met my beloved. How shall I find words for the beauty of my beloved? He is brilliant like millions of suns. He has enthroned in my heart. The lamp of love burns lustrously. I bathed him with water of love. I adorned him with flowers of prema. I gave him butter, sugar, candy. I have drunk the cup of love, which is filled to the brim. It is the cup of perfect joy. My rapture wells forth. The mercy of my Lord has come upon me. How blessed am I, who have seen my beloved, his beloved. Thus saith śubhaṃ. The poem holds good both for the Ashtavakra Gita verse as well as on responding to the divine whisper of God we heard at the end of the. If you have forgotten, if it is not fresh in your memory, go back and listen to the last part of the Bar Bar Journey. When the Lord whispered, Come, merge in me. And we heard the whisper, we went, we merged with Him, and we as Him sang the song on this auspicious day. I have met my beloved, and this meeting is never going to end. And also, the poem echoes the very essence of the last line of few verses in this chapter. Svamahimni sthitasya, may I abide in my own grandeur. Maharaj sang the same svamahimni through the above poem, maybe in the 30s, 1930s. And your Guru sang the same svamahimni song in 2000. And he continues to sing the song for you thereafter. Believe him, at 5:30 this thoughtless thought came. The session has ended. Advatiya tu akala nirbhaya. Thought always comes from the source, because such thoughts cannot come from the mind intellect. For sure, 1,001%. Should it not be Advatiya tu akala chinmaya? The rhythm also fits into that. The tala will also not go. But as Advatiya tu akala Advatiya, it should not be chinmaya. Why it is nirbhaya? Nirbhaya is at a lesser level. Then it beautifully aligns with what he told you just before, which was not noted here, which just came from the source, that the śubhaṃ, neither śubhaṃ nor aśubhaṃ, neither meditation nor non-meditation, all those things are the manifestation. They are not at the same level, of course, but they are the manifestation of the state where one has transcended Atman and Anatman. Exactly, nirbhaya, while the jiva is in the waking state of consciousness, the nirbhaya fits into as the manifestation of the Advatiya Akala. If you take it that way, well, accepted, no problem, nirbhaya. Otherwise, it has to be chin. All the tathā lakshana, all the swarupa lakshana, all the prescriptions, all the references, all the stories, all everything, like we have the appendix, all of them stand as like the duffy or the harmonium which plays along, which gives accompaniment to the singer. They are not meant to dominate the singer. Similarly, all these things, nirbhaya being one, neither śubhaṃ nor śubhaṃ meaning one, like this, all of them stand as accompaniment, stand as manifestation of a Jivan Mukta when he walks into this world. Now, why this thought should come at 5:30? And why this thing which was not noted comes in the pore? Both the things had to come because both the things had to align. This is intuition or this is divine will. Not easy, this session, in terms of Vidyasana experience. Another listening would drill the Maranam part and then Nididhyasana. It is beautiful while listening because he has served you in a silver spoon and he has taken into your mouth ready for having it. But when it comes to experiencing it with Nididhyasana, not easy. Because even as sadhakas, sometimes we oscillate before Atman, between Atman and Anatman many times. So, in the Nididhyasana to transcend this is a challenge. But then, as he told you, that nothing has to be henceforth classified as difficult or not possible for us. Why realized masters had to appear after all? Why so many treaties had to come? Why so many poets, 350 books had to be written by Shivanandaji Maharaj? Why Swami had to speak relentlessly even while he could not speak? Anil Kumar ji had great difficulty in going near him and hearing to what Swami is saying. Because to remove this myth, to remove this misapprehension in the hearts of sadhaka spiritual aspirant, that it is difficult. Otherwise, everybody would have gone into Mahabharata once having realized. More difficult this session is, more challenging it has to be, and take it up with more enthusiasm and more positivity, more vibration. Hari Om.